Hello everyone, today we're going to work on this Kato GS4 and it's missing the smoke box front. So we're going to make our own parts with no 3D printer. So this is part of my box of bad locos and it wasn't working because the hockey sticks in the tender were out of place. So if you want to see how I did that, I'll put a link to that video where I fixed that in the end screen, so you can go ahead and go back and watch that. I got some parts from Kato. I got the smoke box front. I got a second smoke box front just to offset the cost of shipping. I get a whole bunch more parts when I order from Kato. I have an RSC2 I want to change into an RS2, so I got the parts for that. And I got some more F7 stuff because I always have F7s I want to fix. And then let's see what I got. I got some couplers. I used these couplers already. I used some on my PA1, so it's nice to have extra couplers around. Let's open this up. Now you can get that part from Kato directly, but there's a little glass part that goes inside, and that is unobtainium. They also give you the little handrail that comes with the smoke box front, so I'm going to be installing that off camera. Yes, so today's lesson we're going to be making our own parts. We're missing the little glass part that goes inside there. I use UV resin to do that. And I've got my donor engine. This is another GS4 I bought 7 years ago, and I take really good care of this. I really love this engine. And you can see I kept all the plastic parts that manage the engine in the box. Always really careful when I handle this. So this engine, I also bought the nice passenger cars that go with it, and I built my layout out of the display track that comes with the passenger cars. So I only had to buy a couple of curve tracks to build the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the smoke box front, and then remove the little plastic transparent part. So we have to remake this part. So the method that I'm using UV resin to do that, and I make the mold with some hot glue. So that has worked before. This is the UV resin that I use. If you want to buy one, I'll put a link to my website so you can go ahead and get some of that. Also, you need a mold release agent to do that. This is the mold release agent that I have. It's baby oil. It's easy to remove with some dish soap, so it doesn't damage the parts. If it's gentle enough for a baby, it's gentle enough for your paint and your plastic. So I've tried this before, it works well. If you don't have a mold release agent, you can't remove, because we're using hot glue to make the mold. It's glue. You won't be able to remove it. So that's an important step. So I'm going to apply some of the baby oil on my part that I want to make the mold. It's an important step to not forget. And then while I'm doing that, I'm warming up my hot glue gun. That actually I don't work too often with the hot glue, but it works quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some hot glue everywhere so I can make my mold. And the hot glue actually cools down pretty quickly. It's a time effective thing. So I have to wait maybe 2 minutes for it to cool down. Now I've got to remove the my good part from the mold, and that is going to be returned right back to my good my donor GS4. And you can remove the baby oil with some dish soap. Now I've got my mold ready. I have to put some more baby oil so that when I have my part completed I can remove it from the mold. The UV resin also is glue. I think part of it is epoxy, so definitely it's going to be hard to remove from the mold, but this process, it works for me. I've used it before. In fact, there's a nice video where I introduced that. I'll put a link to that in the description where I introduced that, but I've used that before with success. So I just put some UV resin in the mold. I like to use a toothpick. I find that that works best. And then we're going to put that under the UV light. Takes about 5 minutes for it to solidify, and then I've got a nice part. Now we can remove that part from the mold and insert it into the new smoke box front. And that's that. So how do you guys like this? That looks pretty good. Just give you a little close up of it. Looks almost like new. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's put it on the engine. And we're almost all done. Looks brand new. And now it's time to run some trains. All aboard! Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.